Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy Jorge Gamebred Masvidal, your host, Death Row MMA with Happy Dad. What's up, everybody? We got some news for you, man. Just came back from the garden. That atmosphere was electric as ever. I mean, some of the greatest combat athletes in the world have competed there for many, many years, and you could just feel the atmosphere if no one's in there. You pack that stadium up with a bunch of bloodthirsty fans. It is one of the greatest places to enjoy combat at, especially with a night like that. I mean, the card was just stacked from top to bottom. It was a good amount of finishes. The main event, the co-main event, wasn't a finish, but still highly contested, very technical fights. Great night of fights, in my opinion. All right, we're not going to mention this fucker's name and give him any clout or fame because nobody knows this guy. But he did get his ass beat by the Muslim Brotherhood. They stole it from me because I was literally on my way to whoop this motherfucker's ass. They've been sending a couple messages, and I was like, all right, cool. You keep sending these messages, brother. We're going to have to see each other. You know, after my boy Bo gets that knockout, they show a little replay of the fans reacting, right? And guess who's there? Bitch ass bitch. What's his face? I ain't even gonna say his name on my show. Never give him no clout. So I tell the UFC immediately, this fan experience is over. I want to go to my seat, please. They go, yeah, sure. As I start walking towards my seat from the VIP room, I run into Chanko. I'm like, what's up, man? The police is all over me. I go, what happened, brother? And he's like, nah, just chilling, bro. All good. And I see his hands are blood. And I'm like, nah, something happened. What happened with you, man? Look at your hands. He goes, no, all good, bro. Little problem. I took care of it. And I go, all right. So, bam, I took a picture. I keep walking. And as I'm getting closer to the arena, to the stands, the UFC starts coming running at me. You stay right here. Don't move. What just happened? What'd you get into? And they're grabbing me. They're holding me. And I'm like, bro, I just literally got here. Luckily, the UFC always has me with two glorified babysitters, security guards, because every event they got two bodyguards on me everywhere I go to make sure I don't cause no trouble or get in no trouble. So those guys vouch for me. They were like, nah, man, he was with us. He ain't do nothing. After that, another UFC executive by the name of Reed Harris came up to me and goes, man, what did you do? And I go, man, I just got here, brother. I wish I could have done something. So by the time I got out to the main event, all the good fun was taken away already. Dylan Danis had already got fucking mopped up, kicked in the fucking face. They made him eat shit, made him lick the floor, and then they kicked his ass out and banned him. So, sucks for you, pussy, because I'm not gonna hit the fuck your ass up in the crowd, because I would never fight this guy in a professional setting because he's not a professional. And I feel like it'd be disrespect to me and to every other athlete that I have fought that's a high-level competitor. This guy's never done shit in his life but eat dick. So stay eating dick in jail, bitch. Islam versus Jack. Wow. Part of me was so right. Part of me was so wrong. I thought it'd be a lot more competitive fight, especially after seeing Jack's defensive prowess against Belal, against Gilbert, which none of those guys are Islam, but still, I just was very, very astonished. Islam, I think, looked better than ever. I never saw him breathing hard. At 155, I'll see after he gets in good wrestling scrambles or a guy might get away or something, he'll maybe take a little breath, catch his breath, and go right back into it. This was scary, man. This guy never got tired. I'd look at him after every round. Wasn't even breathing. It was a joke. He's going to be a scary guy at 170. The amount of strength, gas, and experience, technique he has. To me, he's number one pound for pound guy right now. It's going to be really, really hard to beat this guy. I don't think I could ever bet against him now, unless it's my little brother Ilya. But other than that, I mean, this guy's just a problem, man. He is so fucking good. And everywhere, his stand-up, he was fucking actually piecing up Jack on the feet. Jack was worried about the takedown. He started chopping that leg. It was a stellar performance. I know a lot of fans said it wasn't the most exciting, this and that. But, man, Islam did his job. He did what he's supposed to do. Take the guy down, control him, try to hurt him, try to submit him. It's not really his fault that he's so damn good, Who does Islam fight next? Good thing we have so many candidates. It was a welterweight extravaganza. So many good welterweights on the card. So many guys to choose from. Do you give it to Prates? Do you give it to Michael? It's a tough one, man. They're both right there. Who's the UFC gonna give it to? I have no idea. I think either one of them deserve it. Obviously, Michael's undefeated, beat a higher ranked guy, so I'm leaning towards Michael getting that title shot, or is Prietas and Michael actually going to fight for the number one spot? I don't know. Is one of them going to fight Jack? That's also another great fight. Jack against Prates, wow. Jack against Michael Morales, wow. So I think there's gonna be a lot of amazing fights coming up. Right now, I don't see anybody beating Islam. No, Makhachev right now, man, is fucking. Forget about that guy, man. Valentina Shevchenko versus Weili, another one that I was wrong in. I thought the fight could go either way, but Valentina just showed out. She made it so non-competitive on the feet, on the grappling, on the wrestling, everywhere. In every exchange, she was just better, faster, sharper, and much, much bigger. The weight showed how she manhandled Zhang Weili with the upper body takedowns to the mat. Would get her down to comparable positions, would land right in half guard or side and just controlled her, beat her up nice and slow, took her time. It wasn't the most exciting title fight, but what a show of skill set, of class, of just being way, way, way better than number two. Because I really think Wei Li's one of the greatest women walking the planet. What Valentina just did shows that she's in the planet all by herself. Valentina Shevchenko, where did she go from here? I don't know. I know she's gone up to 135 before, fought a man that didn't go her way. Maybe she wants to come up to 135 and fight someone like Kayla Harrison and give it another shot. I think that'd be amazing. That's a super fight. I would pay lots of money to see. I want to see first Amanda and Kayla. Maybe the winner of that fight Valentina again. I doubted her and Amanda fight again because they fought maybe 2 or 3 times already. So I don't think that happens. But I could definitely see Kayla Harrison and Valentina fighting. Valentina's not scared of anybody. Kayla welcomes all challenges. I mean, that's a fight for the ages. That's a great fight. And if you ask me, Kayla wins round 2. Michael Morales versus Sean Brady. One of the picks I did get right, one with my boy Mike. Wow. Mike looked really good. Didn't even have to use his wrestling though, which was really strange from Sean Brady. I thought Sean would engage in wrestling a little bit more, a little bit harder, make Michael's heart rate get up there, make his arms get tired. But it just seemed like he was content a little bit to strike, maybe trying to set it up. And before he could even get to the real wrestling, he got caught numerous times. And when Mike decided to step on the gas and jump on him, man, it looked bad. It looked like a man versus a boy. On the feet there was a big gap in speed and power, explosion. Mike was able to execute, was landing good shots. And then as soon as he saw a little bit of shaky leg from Sean, man, he turned it up. He was like at a 80%. He went to 100%. You can see the change in speed and power. He took out Sean just like he said in the first round. Sean's one of the highest ranked guys in the weight class right now. So I really would like to see Mike fight for that title. Prates versus Leon, another one that I did get right. I went like 3-2 on this event. But I just thought it'd be more competitive till it would happen. I thought Leon would be able to get a couple more takedowns. He's a little better wrestler, a little bit more experience at that. He can control him, get some takedowns. Let the clock go by. And I thought by like the second round, Prates would catch him. I did, but Prates just showed out, man. He had the good read on him. He was starting to bite on the fakes hard. Leon, he was already getting tagged too, and you could see that this guy was catching his rhythm. Then all of a sudden, boom, shotgun to the face. I mean, he sent Leon into the next dimension, bro. I don't even know if Leon is back yet, man. He got the fucking shit kicked out of him. That being said, Leon, if you want to get your ass kicked again on the White House card, now Michael Morales versus Carlos would be, wow, that'll be a fucking fight. That's going to be a fight. Those guys are going to both kill each other. They both have that instinct and that grit to get out there and fight and actually do what they're getting paid for is fight, not this, eking out decisions or hitting and moving. These guys are coming to fight. My two favorite guys at welterweight are Carlos and Michael Morales right now. So I would really like to see him fight in the future at some point for the belt. I don't want to see him really fight for number one contendership because I feel like either one of them right now could fight for the title. If it's Carlos, I'm happy. If it's Morales, I'm happy. But we also got to add the monster at that weight class, the boogeyman, Shavkov. Shavkov is amazing, and that's the only guy actually that could beat Islam. That's the only guy that could beat Islam, man. He's naturally bigger, great wrestler, has an endless tank of gas, and he's not bad on the feet. He does eat some shots to give some shots, but he's not bad on the feet. Now that I think about it, I forgot completely about Shavkov. He's been injured for so long, but he's another one of my favorite welterweights. He could be another guy that could beat him all, man. Shavkov's really good, so maybe we get Shavkov versus Jack Maddalena or Shavkov versus one of these guys, Carlos or Michael, whoever doesn't fight for the title, because we need to see Shavkat fighting for that title already. Saint-Denis versus Dariush. Me and Dustin Poirier are actually betting. I love Dariush, but I just felt like Saint-Denis might have his number in this one. Dariush is a little bit older now, has some miles, and I knew Saint-Denis just likes to just jump on people, you know. So, and he got the win. It was fast. It was quick. I don't know, 20 seconds, something like that, right away. And it was a good fight, man. Good while it lasted. Fun as could be. When you weigh in overweight, initially your first attempt, the UFC is going to give you, well, not the UFC, the commission is going to give you 2 hours to make the weight. So let's say your weight class is 156, but you came in at 157 and change. They're going to tell you, hey, well, you got 2 hours to make the weight. You come back, you don't make the weight. Well, now you're going to get hit with anywhere from like 20, I think, yeah, it's 15, 20% of your purse will get fined by the commission. A percentage of that will go to the fighter, which I think is wrong. You know, nothing should, maybe a small 2% should go to the commission. I have to say, the rest should go to the fighter, you know, because we get like a 10% goes to the fighter. Shouldn't be like that. We're the ones fighting. We're the ones that have to deal with somebody not making weight. I've never not made weight. So to me, it's a very personal thing that once I sign on that dotted line, even if I got to kill myself to make the weight and it makes me weaker for the fight, I'm gonna give you the due respect that I signed on that contract at a certain weight. So me personally, I'm a big fan of always making the weight, but things happen, man. I don't know Dariush. I don't think he's ever missed weight. Very strange for him to miss weight, actually. He must have had maybe he was seriously hurt or seriously sick, because I've never heard of him missing weight. He's a very disciplined guy, one of my favorite fighters. So I don't know what could happen with Dariush. It sucks for him, though. Bo Nickal, well, y'all know, I'm preaching on my boy for a bit. You know, he's getting better. This is something we've been working on. Is his kicks to the body, kicks to the head, kicks to the leg, because he has naturally great kicks. He was a very flexible kid in college. You know, he could do splits, you could lift his leg up. So it was just a natural progression for the team, I think, to take him that route to show him how to kick and kick properly. It just adds another whole degree of danger, man, really to his technique. And then when he kind of crouches to shoot, you can't really tell if he's going to shoot right away or kick. So it's a great weapon for him to have. I mean, I thought he looked great the whole fight. Immediately used his wrestling, took this guy down, landed some shots. And though this guy never really had an answer for Bo, that guy's a really good fighter, man. Really good jiu-jitsu guy. Has a lot more experience than Bo. So I give Bo an A on this one, man. Give him an A+ maybe on this performance. Great job by Bo. I want to see Bo get right back in there. There's so many good guys at that weight class. I just want to see Bo fighting the world's best soon. You know, I think that setback with the Ryder had a little bit of blessing in a way. You know, he changed up some things about his training, about his lifestyle, that I think are going to pay off big dividends. I mean, you know, I think we got to put Bo somewhere in the top 15. I think there's a lot of good, tough fights out there for him, but a lot of good fights. You know, Jared Cannonier's a stud, fought for the title. That'd be another tough fight, big jump in competition, fighting a guy like Cannonier. But I think Bo could get some results from him. Piper's another guy that's amazing, man. That has a lot of raw power. If that guy hits you, it could be a short night. Very explosive. I think one of the hardest hitters at 185 is probably Piper. So it's another good fight for Bo. I could see Bo getting that fight, getting his hand raised, hopefully. You know, tough fight, though. All these fights are tough, man. And then once you break into the top 10, they only get tougher. But I think Bo has the style and the skill set to beat all these guys, bro. If his mind is right, the training goes well, I could see Bo holding that belt 2 years from now. The weekend, like I said, was great. Probably what made it also better is that I got to hang out with my brother Chito Vera. We were up and down everywhere. Since I got over there in UFC, we were shutting it down behind the back scenes. I don't know. I think we got kicked out of 2 clubs officially. One speakeasy. So that's like 3 places we got like kicked out of. And we're like, well, we've been kicked out of better, so we care less, you know. Shit, we had a ball, man. Had some good food in New York. Met the fans. I met a lot of fans. Had a lot of good time with the fans. Everywhere I was going, I was running into people that were there for the event. So it was a very good time. I mean, the fights are just amazing. Whenever there's fights. But when you hold them at Madison Square Garden and then the card actually is stacked from top to bottom, prelims all the way to the main event, it was highly competitive bouts. Matchmaker, round of applause for all of them. They really went off from this card. I think it's one of the better cards I've been to in a while. Can't wait for the next one. Pantoja, my teammate, and I think one of the best pound for pound guys, got to be in the top 3. Pantoja is up to defend his belt again for, I think, now the 5th time. So please don't miss out on that one, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We got one of these daytime Havoc cards coming up. Qatar. We have Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be an action-packed fight. I obviously got my friend and teammate Arman winning. I think Arman will be able to control him. He's a little quicker on the feet, a little sharper, cleaner. Not that it's not going to be a dog fight still. I think, Hooker's one of the toughest guys in the roster. I just think his skill set will be limited a little bit against Arman, where Arman will be able to get takedowns, maybe a little bit of control on the ground, and then the feet. He should be able to do all right. I think it's a fight, maybe starts to go down the stretch. Hooker will make him more competitive, as he always does. But I see Arman winning this fight. Clear cut, hand raised, and moving on to the next. That lightweight division right now it's kind of a mess, It's kind of a mess, right? Because if Ilya this, Ilya that, there's also a big chance that he goes up. So if he goes up, that also makes the division a crazy place. That being said, I mean, there's talking about one of the possible guys to get a title shot is Gagey. Like, off what? What is he getting a title shot off? Max just folded him like a fucking launcher just weeks ago, and Max got beat by Ilya. So it's weird, I think there's a lot of other guys that deserve it more than what's his face, but I guess he's got that Dana White privilege. Because I don't see how this guy gets a fucking title shot. It shows how weird the division is right now. Because there's a lot of good guys in that division, man. But they're just not letting those guys come along fast enough or something. Because there's a lot of killers there. I wouldn't mind seeing Paddy Pimblett versus Ilya, to tell you the truth. That's the fight that I want to see. Another fight that I want to see at 155, people might think it's crazy, but it's the truth, is Max Holloway versus Ilya. And the reason being, Max just beat Dustin Poirier, which was number 1 or number 2 or number 3 at the time that fight took place. Also beat Justin Gaethje, where they're talking about possibly giving the title shot. Homer Simpson don't do nothing but take shots to the head. So I'm like, what the fuck? Max beat both these guys. If somebody should be getting a title shot, I know it probably doesn't make sense because he just beat him at 45, but Max is one of the more deserving guys at 155 easily. The division right now is a little bit of a hot mess, so hopefully it gets straightened out soon. Hooker having a chance to beat Arman. I mean, it's a fight. Anything could happen, Anything could happen. I don't give him a lot of chances to win this fight. I think Arman makes it look easy, but could be wrong, It's a fight world. Belal versus Ian Garry, that's a good fight. That is a really, really good fight. Stylistically, both guys are very different from each other. Body types, it's going to look like a 205er versus a 155er. Belal's got a different frame for 70 where he's not big at all. He's very short, compact. Ian's a big welterweight. He's almost like a small, light heavyweight, It's gonna be entertaining to see what Belal does to be able to get inside. Can he take him down? Can he control him? Can he stay on top of him? I'm a big Belal fan. I'm usually riding with Belal. This one's gonna be tough though, because Ian's one of those guys that fights very pointish. He stays outside, lands a shot, moves. Lands a kick, moves. I think he's gonna give Belal a lot of trouble. It's gonna be tough, My heart's gonna be with Belal, but I don't know. It's gonna be a tough one for him to pull out. I won't be surprised if Ian could sneak out a little decision, The welterweight division right now, it's got so many potential guys that could just fight the champion, which just got crowned, which is the 2-time UFC champion, 155, 170. It's a great time to be a fan right now. I think some of the freaking best fights are getting made all across the map. Winner of Ian Garry Belal. I don't know. If Belal wins, do you give him a title shot? I don't know. I don't know if you give him a title shot right away. I'm not against it, And Belal has a very good style to go up against Makhachev. He has probably one of the better styles to go up against Makhachev. I can see Belal doing really, really good against Makhachev. But do you give him the title shot right away off this? I don't know. Do you give Ian Garry the title shot? Nah, I wouldn't give it to Ian over Michael Morales. There's not a chance. I'd put Mike over Ian all day. Let's just see. Ian Garry already beat Carlos Prates, you know, so it's also interesting. But he also lost to Shavkov, which is the boogeyman in the division, which I don't know if he's still hurt or not. I don't know what's going on with Shavkov, but that's a guy that definitely has the number 1 and number 2 ranking. I don't want to see Shavkov fight anybody else, to tell you the truth. I don't want to see Shavkov come in and strike straight for the belt. You know, I don't think this guy should be fighting anybody else. He's already done what he had to do. But when will that take place? Because Michael Morales is banging on the door. Carlos Prates is banging on the door. And it's not fair also to these guys to stay active, give knockouts, give it their all to get victories for them to sit out too long. It's going to be up to Makhachev, you know, for him to stay active and busy because, man, let me tell you, he's got work in front of him, you know. He wanted work. He's going to have more work than he probably did at 155 because there's guys that are hungry there for it and they want that shine. And right now, I would say the hottest division is 170 welterweight.
When those 3 minutes are up, the referee pauses the timer, takes the board away, and we have 1 minute to put on gloves and get ready to box. We box for 3 minutes. We're knocking each other in the head and the body. We're getting our heart rate up. And after 3 minutes of boxing, we have 1 minute to take off our gloves, calm ourselves down, sit back down at the board, and pick up the game where we left off. In the 2018 World Championship Finals, I fought a Korean guy. His big strength was he had been boxing for about 10 years longer than I had. And we were about equivalent in chess. And I came out pretty aggressive, and he was really cool, calm, collected, dropped right back, hit me with a counter with his very first punch that stunned me. I was like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble here. And there was one big punch that I landed right before the end of the round that I think gave me a big advantage. I caught him with a right hook, and I knew I did damage. And like a second or two later, the bell rang for the end of the round. I'd say the biggest challenge is in that transition, though. I knew going into the World Championship, I wasn't going to be the best chess player, and I wasn't going to be the best boxer. So what I decided to try to win was the minute of transition. He comes back to the board, and the very first move that he makes is he picks up a white rook and he moves it down the G file. I look at my king and I look at his king and I'm like, I'm definitely the white pieces. Like, he picked up the wrong colored piece and moved it down the board. Like, this is good news. And the referee noticed it around the same time I noticed it. He moved the rook back, and I was like, this is it. Like, this is my shot. I got to be really aggressive on the board right now. And right before the end of the third chess round, right before we have to go back into boxing, I end up checkmating him. He had like 200-300 people in his corner, like chanting his name and everything. And I had 3 American guys in my corner. Like, yeah, go Matt. And it was one of the best moments of my life. The most robust programs and events are in London and Paris, and they're like top tier in terms of entertainment, lighting, professional hosts, live streaming to multiple countries, all that kind of stuff that you would see in other sporting kind of events. So I think that this is a beautiful yin and yang, and it's multifaceted, and I think that's really exciting to watch and be.
Yeah, I seen it on 60 Minutes. It had some specials on this on 60 Minutes. I thought it was amazing. It's something I'm definitely gonna do. I gotta get my chess up to par. I'm not a bad chess player. I know how to play chess. I actually love it. There was a time where I used to play like almost every day with 2 of my coaches. They really like playing chess. We would play chess a lot, especially during fight camps. I haven't been playing that much, but boy, would I love to do that. Fucking boxing and chess. And then I heard these guys get paid, so this is something I'm definitely gonna do on the later end of life. I have to do this a couple times, try it out for myself. Looks like a hell of a sport, you know. Brains and bronze. Okay, family. The jersey grab. The jersey grab.
And said something to Reeves as Reeves was leaving the ice.
Ooh, wow.
Lost his helmet there, but he
Ooh, wow. Ooh, ooh.
Redby without his lid as they let them go for now.
Keep going.
Smile by Ryan Reeves.
I just love the culture. Wasn't the best fight, decent fight, but I just love the culture of hockey. You just scrap as man as you should, get it out of your system. You know, why hold that bitter energy in there? I love it. I love that component of hockey. It's one of my favorite. I had some good shots and some decent right hands, but I was hoping somebody was gonna get knocked out. You know, doesn't always happen in hockey. It's hard. I get it, man. They're on fucking skates, grabbing onto each other's jerseys. But I love that aspect. They get to just beat the crap out of each other every time they want.
Listen, that's Elon is much older and weighs more. He grew up doing judo, so he's a judo guy. So that whole thing was fascinating. That was fun too, and a fun moment in my career. Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. The press conferences, incredible, fun period of my career. But promoting the Elon Zuckerberg fight and trying to put that thing together was a lot of fun too. The moral of this story is, all of you telephone tough guys and internet tough guys that talk shit about Mark Zuckerberg, Zuckerberg will beat the shit out of every one of you.
All right, enough, man. I'm gonna throw up. I keep seeing this shit, bro. I mean, define, regular guy. Was it a regular guy that worked in construction his whole damn life, and he's just a tough and hardened individual that's got into a fucking bar fight every other weekend, and he's kind of a bigger guy, like 170 or something like that. I think Zuckerberg might be in trouble because Zuck's a small guy. Now, I've never trained with him, so I don't know his technique and nothing like that, or skill set. And obviously, when he's going with all these amazing fighters that he trains with, they're I don't know, they're probably going 10% with him. So it's hard to judge it off that. I would have to actually train with myself, watch him train to know what his capabilities are. But could he catch a regular guy that's his same size? Yeah, for sure. I know he's been doing jiu-jitsu for a while. If you don't know what you're doing on the ground and somebody takes you down, it's game over, And it looks like he's efficient in the ground. And fighting, I don't know how much, but his jiu-jitsu doesn't look bad. His transitions, his technique. I don't know about the fighting, though. I think Dana's just... he's part of that Facebook board and he's trying to fucking get a pay raise and shit, But Zuck, I don't know, man. Zuckerberg looks like he fixes computers and shit. I don't know. I don't think you get like some construction worker or some Latin dude that just got out of jail, don't give no fuck, grew up fighting in the streets. You better be careful, Dana. I'll put some money on it. I got some uncles and tios that'll fucking take the fight if you want to set it up, Dana.
For that, actually, they came back and told me right before I walked out for the main card that Dylan Danis was here and he was moving around, sitting in fighter seats and not sitting in his own seat that he had a ticket. And they said, "Do you want us to throw him out of here?" And I said, "He has a ticket?" And I said, "Yeah." They told me, they said, "Masvidal said he's going to him up on site." And I said, "Well, where's Masvidal sitting?" He said, "Well, he's 6 or 7 rows away from Masvidal." I said, "Well, if the guy has a ticket, let him sit in his seat and let him do what he's doing, and keep an eye on him." It never even crossed my mind, as stupid as this could be, that the entire Muslim Brotherhood was here tonight in the first 5 rows for Islam. And as soon as it broke out, I was over on the other side and I go, I know exactly what that is. I knew it. And yeah, you will never see Dylan Danis at a UFC fight ever again.
Peace out, bitch. I don't even know how they let him in there, even if he bought his own ticket. He's already starting enough problems as it is at these events and shit. All he looks to do is this, just grab a headline, whether he gets his teeth kicked in or he gets choked up by a security guard or he gets slapped by Ali. This dude just wants his name in the headlines. He doesn't matter, This guy will get on 4 and fucking do some shit for money, man. Something strange for a piece of change, bro, because he's a hoe, dog. He's that type of person. He ain't got nothing going for him in his life but to be negative on other people and make up shit and talk shit, I mean, he was talking before the fight that he was the best welterweight in the world, talking about Islam and JDM. And it's crazy to me. I'm like, man, this is the same dude that got choked out by a fucking security guard that was out of shape. It wasn't even like the guy was competing and training. The guy just trains casually in jiu-jitsu and he fucking held you down, submitted you, choked the piss out of you until the cops got there. And he goes around talking like he could fight, So I've never thought this guy's a real fighter. I've never even seen him fight, I've just seen him yapping, talking about people's girlfriends and wives and stuff. I just think this guy's a fucking con artist. The UFC, every time I go to an event, when I first land, the UFC will pull me aside like, "Hey, man, obviously we don't want no problems, Masvidal. We want to have you here. We're so happy to have you. And usually while this is going on, I'll have my 2 assigned security guards for like the weekend or whatever, because they're really like careful with me for some reason. I don't know why. And they ask me always, like, man, is there anybody out here you got problems with so we keep you away from them? And I'm like, man, it's only 2 bitch-ass motherfuckers that, you know, wherever I see them, I'm going to get them. It's Kobe and Dylan, and that's for life, you know? So I watched the fights. Bo Nickal just fought. Then after he fight, it showed the replay of Dylan. You know, and I was in the VIP doing pictures and meet and greets with the fans. As soon as I saw his bitch ass there, I said, bro, I gotta go get this. I'm gonna go get this fucking guy, bro. So I start making my way over there, and man, my Russian comrades took it from me, man. Shit. Right when I got there, it was too late already. They had already fucking kicked his teeth in, you know. I think it could have been a little bit more violent and bloody. And you know what's funny though? It's because it's in their blood. A lot of my friends that are fighters were there watching the thing. He said, hey, these Russians were shooting double legs on him and shit. It's fucking crazy, bro. Anyways, man, fuck Dylan. Fuck all these cowards. Fuck all these guys that just make their name off talking shit online. Never did anything with their life. Never fought anybody real. Never even had a training camp. But they're just there talking, trying to be in the mix, shaking hands with other fighters. Like, this guy's the biggest fraud I've seen in a long time. That's why this will be the last time he's ever brought up in this podcast, because we're only talking to real motherfuckers here, man. And Dylan, you ain't never been one, you little bitch. I sent him some messages, let's meet up, this and that, before that incident. He went radio signing on me, you know, so I got no respect for this guy as a person, as a human being, nothing, you know. This is somebody I wish I could get locked up in the cell with, and whatever happens, happens, man. We got new episodes coming out every Monday. Sometimes in a week, we hit you with 2 because there's too much good shit happening. So we got to keep you up to date. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share. We're taking over little by little by little. I want to thank all the fans. We've already accumulated over 5 million views on different episodes and all the content together. And that's all because of you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So thank you to everybody watching this worldwide, to all my fans, USA, South America, the Caribbean, my European brothers and sisters, Russia, China. What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. God bless. Japón.